Hey y'all, so y'all already see I got the StreamYard recording going on. I will be back to my regular setup. Y'all see my ring light, it's over there. I will be back to my regularly scheduled setup tomorrow. Individual recaps will resume tomorrow, but I just have a lot going on between today, yesterday, and I just really want to get out my thoughts on this season of both. We're going to talk about US and UK. There'll be a little timestamp. Now, I ain't going to hold y'all. There might not be that much footage from the show because, girl, the last episode I recapped was episode 2, and I also wanna kind of talk about this storyline by couple, or, like, pairing by pairing, storyline by storyline. I don't really wanna do, like, individual breakdown because I don't want this video to be, like, an hour. So, anywho, let's get into it. My first initial thoughts this season is, how is US better than UK? And I look, don't at me, whatever the girlies used to say, don't at me, okay? US is better than UK. These US people are bringing it. They are bringing the drama. And I also have to say, this season, the girls are playing. The girls are playing this game, okay? These guys, I feel like they need to get on it because the girls are seriously playing in the US this season. It's actually insane to me. I feel like each and every day they have been very much on their I choose myself game. And I'm not going to say I love every single girl's approach, but I will say that it's interesting to see the guys get a taste of their own medicine. And I'm not saying these particular guys necessarily deserve it or not, but I'm just saying it's very interesting on a season of Love Island to see the guys kind of taking the back burner rather than the girls. Because I don't know. These guys are playing. Now, I just want to get into it couple by couple. I actually want to talk about UK first. I don't like when they bring celebrities on, okay? Whoever they like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only vaguely, very, very vaguely heard the name Joey Essex. I don't really know who he is, but I don't like when they bring in celebrities. I feel the same way about Cordell in the US season. I just kind of feel like whenever you bring a celebrity, someone who's attached to a celebrity, I do think it brings a different dynamic to the game where you're not actually so sure if a person wants a person or not. And there's been like so much said. Apparently, Joey has gone on saying that Sam was a fan, Sam was a stalker, and that's why Samantha wanted to be with him. But either way, don't give me celebrities. Anywho, I got my iPad because I actually have been taking notes on this show. But like I said, I'm not going to go person by person. I just want to go couple by couple. So, first off, in the UK, let's talk about that Ronnie, Harriet, and Jess situation because I know these three girls are not fighting over Ronnie. Ronnie, the man who sprays on his hairline, that Ronnie, the Ronnie who's a soccer player, football player, that Ronnie, we're fighting over that Ronnie. Um, Here's the thing. I think it's interesting that Harriet makes commentary where she's like, well, Ronnie chose me. And it's like, Ronnie didn't choose you, though. Ronnie chose. The thing is, Jess said, I'm done with this triangle. And to me, I feel like that's the most pathetic way because it's like she just kind of bounced. She was like, I'm not going to do this with you anymore. I think you already lost if you have to beg a man to give you an ultimatum. And the fact that Jess was literally like, here's an ultimatum and I expect you to give me an answer by this date, and Ronnie could not give an answer. Why do you still want this man? Why do you still want this man? This boring, hairless man. Why do y'all want him? it was crazy. Like, I feel like if you have to ask a man to choose you, you should already be walking. I also really didn't like a lot of just his attitude, towards Harriet, because it's like, this man didn't even choose you. And the fact of the matter is, you are no better than she is. You are no better than she is. Like, it's not like, "Oh my goodness, you're better and she's not." Like, you both are pathetic. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're both very, very pathetic with the way they do things, and therefore, to me, I feel that they need to get Ronnie out and Harriet. And let's talk about Harriet's hair. You guys know, baby. I need a retwist right now, right? So maybe I'm not the best person to be talking about hair, but like, what is going on with Harriet's hair? Like, girl, why are your tracks literally showing? And not one of those girls, not one of the black girls. You mean to tell me Uma or Mimi didn't pull her aside and say, "Girl, your track is showing"? None of them. Why does that girl look 40? Why does Harriet look like she's 40 years old? Because I know that girl is not actually 3 to 4 years younger than I am. Somebody said she was born in 2000, so she's like 3 years younger than me. Why does she look like that? I have a lot of questions. Let me go through my notes really quick to see if there's anything that I want to discuss. Ah, Manveer and Patsy. I think Manveer was not cut out for this show. I think Manveer is along the likes of Fergie. I think on the US, if you're watching Cordell, I think Fergie is obviously in there, Sean as well. I don't know, but I think there's certain guys that just don't really mesh with the typical Love Island contestants where they get lucky sometimes and find somebody because, like, for instance, Fergie found Taylor, and I believe they're still together. I think I still get their TikToks. But I don't know. I just think with Manveer, they first off completely erased that man from the show. But it's just like Manveer, I feel like didn't really chat well. I think, a lot of people like have said like Manveer looked great, but Manveer was just kind of like Coy from the US. It's like Coy had no chat. He was terrible. He could not even hold a conversation. And so being 6'8" and being all of this and being all of that did not hold up because at the end of the day, he wasn't bringing any conversation. And I think that was the biggest thing with Manveer. Like, I just think that Manveer seemed like a fairly nice guy, but conversationally, game wise, like I feel like he gave up. Like, I feel like he tried to chat with two girls. There was no spark. I forgot who it was that said that she just did not feel an immediate spark with him. Was it Nicole that had said that to him? Trying to look through my notes and see if I can find it. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it. Um, mm, I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Can't find it in my notes. But I know that one of the girls, I remember Manveer was chatting with one of the girls, and she straight up was like, "Well, I just don't really see that with you." And I don't know. I don't know what it was about Manveer. As I said, I think he wasn't given much game, and I think unfortunately that led to him being dumped. Patsy was very desperate. I think Patsy went too hard too fast and was very, very desperate, and unfortunately just did not really make connections with people. So I think Manveer and Patsy, they didn't really stand a chance. I'm sorry to say. Um, let's talk about Uma and Mimi. And like I said, I'm only going to talk about the stuff that I found interesting from the UK season. I'm not going to be going episode by episode. I'm resuming regular recaps tomorrow. Okay. I promise. So you're going to get tomorrow and today's episodes in one. And then moving forward, it should be individual. Uh, Uma doesn't like that Mimi is her direct competition. Uma doesn't like that Mimi is her direct competition. Uma was gung ho to be friends with Mimi. You know, she was fine with all of that. But I feel like as soon as it became clear that Io actually liked both of them on the same level, I feel like Uma's demeanor completely changed. I think Uma This reminds me a lot of when I was younger. I was friends with this mixed black girl. Her mom was white, her dad was black. And she was considered the pretty girl of the school or whatever because she was mixed. I don't know. And I remember the boys used to make fun of both of us. And they'd be like, "Oh my god, you guys look alike, you guys look alike, whatever." And I remember that girl got so pissed when people started saying that we looked alike. I had never seen something like that before. And it even got to a point where she did not want to be friends with me anymore. She was literally like, "Oh my god, you're just a puppy. All you do is follow me around." Although, mind you, this girl would call me and like rant about people for hours, text me all the time. And then all of a sudden, as soon as people started to rank us on the same level, that girl did not like me anymore at all. Her whole demeanor changed toward me because she deemed herself above me. Now, that might be projection. I don't know. Isn't this all projection, this commentary at the end of the day? But I feel like Uma had a little bit of that herself, where it's like, I think she's always been looked at as the prettiest girl in the room. She's always been the girl that didn't have to fight for a guy. And I think as soon as she actually had to fight for Io, I think obviously not only did her demeanor change towards Io, but it also changed towards Mimi because it was like, wow, like I'm actually on the same level as her. Like I think that Uma is the type of girl that expects that she's always gonna win, and I don't know. I feel like nobody's really like super gung ho for Uma. Like I don't. I'm just putting it out there. I also want to talk about Uma staying with Io because I feel like it's a very divisive subject where it's like I am in the camp where I don't necessarily think that Uma likes Io. I don't think Uma's like desperate for Io or like really, really wants to be locked down with this man. I think there is something to be said for the fact that Black women, particularly on Love Island and these dating shows in general, if you are watching Perfect Match, which I'm gonna do a video on Perfect Match next week of just the whole season because I feel like there's just nothing to talk about with that show. But even if you're watching Perfect Match, Tolu. I just feel like the Black women on these shows have very little options compared to the non-Black women. And I think that there's something to be said for the fact that I think a lot of the Black women also end up having to be stuck with the Black men in the villa. And yes, yes, I know in US, Janae and Connor are one of the strongest couples. I'm not saying there's not exceptions to that rule, but I feel like that is a very heavy exception. So I think that, you know, I'm not gonna fault Uma for like wanting that connection with Io to be strong so she can have an opportunity to stay in the villa and potentially find somebody. And I think there's just no real other person that's even looking. I think Uma also kind of suffered the same thing. Had that new guy not come in, was what was his name? Let me see. Oh, Will. Had that new guy Will not come in. I mean, Will the Trumper. That man's a Trump supporter. That man's British and he a Trump supporter. Anyway, but had he not come in, I just feel like Uma would have also kind of had nobody. Like no one was really checking for Uma. And then it was said that Uma is really actually into white guys more than she's into black guys. And she apparently liked Kieran, but Kieran is obviously on Nicole. Like I don't feel like Kieran don't want no black girl. So I just feel like with the black women on these shows, the options are extremely limited. Extremely limited, especially if you're a darker skinned black woman. I just feel like you're lucky if you have two matches in the whole villa. Two matches, let alone, you know? So I just feel like I'm not gonna fault Mimi too much. I don't really think Mimi likes Io like that, if I'm being honest. But mm, so Sean, let's talk about Sean. I feel really bad for Sean because I feel like Sean is a cute guy. Like he's very cute. I think he's very attractive. He doesn't seem boring. He owns a bakery, so he has a business. I don't know. I'm not sure to me why Sean's not a catch because I feel like Sean is cute. Like I don't know. I don't know why he's not a catch. Um I feel bad for Sean because he really wants Jess. And Jess is obviously still hung up on that love triangle, even though she and Sean are paired up currently. Um, Jess tells Sean in episode 12, I think, that she's just not feeling the sexual chemistry with him, which is sad. It's just sad. I feel like a lot of these girls are very, very tunnel visioned on both shows, both US and UK. I feel like a lot of these girls are very, very tunnel visioned on like one guy and then are so closed off that they're not even open to getting to know another. Like they have the immediate ick. And so, yeah, with Sean, I feel bad for him. I don't think Sean's going to stay, unfortunately. I'm assuming, well, it depends. It depends. I don't remember if the last recoupling was a girls or a guys recoupling, but I think if it is a girls recoupling, I do think Sean is in pretty big danger. Just because he doesn't really seem to have a connection with literally anyone. Um, you know. But I will say Sean did also say he wasn't that initially attracted to Jess either, but they had a good conversation. So we shall see about the plight of Sean. And now to get into the big drama. Joey Essex, Samantha, and his ex Grace. We all agree that it's a stunt, right? We all agree that Joey knew that she was going in. They're probably likely still together. We all agree on that, right? I feel very bad for Samantha because what's effed up to me is playing this girl the entire show to go over to Grace and be like, "Yeah, there was never a spark in the first place." Hmm? What do you mean there was never a spark in the first place? There was never a spark in the first place, but you've been paired up with this girl since day one? So since your day one, I guess. But there was never a spark in the first place. Never. No spark. I just don't know. Like that to me is so messed up. And then I don't like the gaslighting because I think as women, there are times where we know when something's a problem. If I was in this show and the person I'm coupled up with, their ex comes into the villa and then they proceed to tell me that they just were talking to that person 2 months ago. They proceed to tell me that, there's still some unresolved business and feelings there. Why wouldn't she be worried? And I didn't like how Joey was gaslighting her, like, oh my God, why are you having all this reaction? Why are you doing this? Why are you sleeping out on the daybed by yourself instead of with me? And then he's using that as an excuse for why he's going to Grace, saying, oh, because Samantha got so upset. That's why I'm going over to Grace. The whole time, this man was going to go over to her regardless. Even if Sam played it cool, it doesn't matter. I don't like see, this is why I don't like when celebrities are on the show because I feel like celebrities are made aware of things and then it's like it's not fun anymore. Like this storyline is so lame. Wow, Joey and his ex. that are already clearly still currently together. Because if these two weren't together, why didn't they have a talk about anything? If you broke up, there's a reason why you broke up. Never once did we see them have a chat about their breakup. They say there's unresolved business. We never see them discuss the unresolved business. They seem like they are great with each other. They seem happy. The spark still seems there. So if everything's great, then why did you break up? Break up. I just, it's not giving for me. Those two, it's not giving, and I don't like this storyline. I don't like this storyline. I'm gonna say it again. I don't like this storyline. I don't like it. Get Joey Essex out, right? I feel like Joey Essex has to leave this show. There's no way that Joey Essex can stay on this show. There's no way, right? There's no way. Um, Sean does confront Jess in one episode, I think it was episode 12, about coupling up with him to get back at Ronnie. And Jess gets really upset. She's like, "Who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you that?" He's like, "Well, the girls kind of mentioned it." He's like, "Oh, who mentioned it?" He doesn't say. I think that's great that he did not say who told him that. And she goes over to the girls and tries to like get out of them who said it. And it's like, I don't know. They do talk again, and she tells him there is no spark. He says for him there was also no spark, but I think he just said that. And I felt really bad for Sean. I do think Sean is probably, as I said, if it's a girls recoupling, I think Sean's probably the next to go, personally speaking. But I think Casa is supposed to start soon. So we have this sleepover twist. We'll briefly talk about it. Will and Uma go together. It seems like they have a bit of a connection, but baby, he a Trumper. So I have questions, baby. Are you gonna be with a British Trumper? Grace and Joey are together, and then Tiffany and Ronnie are, well, they went together to the sleepover. Ronnie also looks like his head's turned. Let's be so for real. Ronnie never liked either one of those two girls. He just likes the drama of them fighting over him. He never liked those two girls, Harriet or Jess. That's it. That's what's going on in the UK. Okay. I did not watch today's episode yet, but Grace and Joey, get them out. Get them out. I don't like it. Let's talk about US. US has been good this season, and it's only been like 4 episodes, and it has been so good. So let's get into it. Let me just pull up my notes just so I can touch on the things that I find interesting. So, first off, Koi. What a waste of being 6'8". This is what I mean, where I feel like as a man, you need to bring things to the table. I think a lot of times men lead with looks. I think with women, that doesn't cut it. I think it does not cut it. Koi is such a good example of somebody who was attractive, good looking, has all this going for him, but brought nothing. The man gave us nothing. The man gave us nothing. And so he left. He got out. He got out. He got out. That 6'8" man done got himself. Okay. Let's talk about Rob, Olivia, and Leah. Um, why is Rob back? I know some of y'all might like him, think he's attractive. I was not a fan of Rob. I was not a fan of Rob. I didn't find him and his snake charmer stuff cute. So why is he back again? I don't really like it when they bring back previous people, celebrities, siblings of celebrities. Don't love it. Don't love it personally. I like Love Island when it is just your normal every day. And yes, I know they pick people that are influencers and stuff like that. But I just like me some normal everyday Love Islanders. Um, so Olivia comes in and steals Rob. There's no connection there. No connection whatsoever. This man just was not physically attracted to her. They have some conversation, I think, about country music or something. She loves country music, and I think he likes something else. And so they have this conversation, and then right after the conversation, he's like, "Yeah, I don't think I see it for us too." And it's like, "No, man, you just didn't find her physically attractive." Um, so that's it. Kaylor is with Aaron, and they are locked in up until this challenge. Let's get into that challenge that happened a few episodes ago where Hannah and Kaylor make out with Hakeem. Hannah is a mess, by the way. Hannah is a mess. I think Hannah is just here to play the game, and that's fine. But I think it's kind of annoying when you're gonna go make out with so many other guys and then proceed to come back and be like, oh, but I'm just, I'm just this, I'm just that. Yeah, everybody in the villa knows how much I want him. It's like, girl, but you're, like, making out with the guy every day, girl. Mm-mm, mm. I don't know about Hannah. I don't know about Hannah, but I will say I love it. Okay, the thick girls. Please give me more thick girls on this show. Give me more thick girls because I'm tired, baby. Mm. So Coy and Janae were together in a pairing. It was a really bad pairing. Um, their fight kind of starts because they play this game where everybody gives their body count, and Janae says 22. And Koye is like, she's a fucking liar. She told me 20 or something. Okay. And excuse me, said his is 150, but she had told him 100. So like they already didn't have trust. These two like were really, it was not giving. You watch them, it was not giving. The spark was not there. It was not there on either side. The spark was not there. Um, what else is going on in this show? Cordell and Serena. Cordell reminds me of Bergie. If Cordell wasn't black, let's say Cordell was white. Will Cordell remind y'all of Bergie? Because the thing is, Cordell reminds me of Bergie, and I know people gonna be like, no, that's not. If Cordell was a white guy acting the way that he's acting, would he remind you of Bergie? Because I don't know, but like Cordell, I just feel like he does not mesh with the show. I give him really big props for not talking about how Odell Beckham Jr. is his brother. Okay, I do like that he doesn't really bring that up. It doesn't seem like he lives in his spotlight, but he definitely gives like the nerdy younger brother like aesthetic. Like I feel like he was probably the quiet kid. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like the quiet kid that liked anime. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but I feel like he really doesn't mesh with a lot of the girls here. Serena had the it from like day one. From day one. And it's sad because this is one of the first times I've seen on this show a dark skinned black girl really be lusted over and liked genuinely. And it's not even like Cordell is looking at any of the other girls. So it makes me really sad because I'm like, damn, we could have seen a cute couple. We could have seen a cute couple. But Serena had the ick. I think that Cordell obviously does not display traditional masculinity or whatever you want to call it. And I think obviously because of that, I think Serena unfortunately just wasn't feeling him. I think she had and I will say this. I think with Serena, it was just a classic case of her not being attracted to his aesthetic because I do think her reasoning why she didn't like him was kind of dumb. Like, I think her reasoning of like, when I'm talking, I feel like he's being fake and he's not really listening. It's like, girl, no, you just don't like that man. You just don't like that man, so everything he does annoys you. And that's okay. You don't have to like a man. You really don't. But I feel like her reasoning, because even during the point where they had the breakup conversation, he was like, what could I have done differently? Like, why? What was it about me? She couldn't say anything. Like, she literally could not give an answer. She was like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like our conversations, and even Cordell peep game. Even Cordell was like, yo, cut the shit. Like, that's not the real reason you don't like me. So what's the real reason? Um, so personally, I did feel bad for him there because I just feel like um he really did like Serena, and I feel like Serena got the ick almost immediately and then did not give him a chance. And that to be sad because as I said, I think this is one of the few times I think on this show in the US season at least, right? Where we're seeing a dark-skinned woman be lusted over and genuinely wanted and she didn't like him. I will give Serena major props for being honest because a lot of people on this show are not honest. They're not honest. They pretend to like people to get in the villa. Y'all, I don't know if y'all were watching Perfect Match, but Dom literally faking to like Tolu when we all know that man doesn't like black women and him faking to like Tolu to get in that house. Like, so on these shows, black women, a lot of times when we see a man so profusely lusting after them, it's because they want to use them. I didn't seem that way with Odell. Like he was genuinely Odell. Oh my god, Cordell. He genuinely seemed upset, and that really made me sad because, as I said, I just feel like he's a genuine guy. Um, the producers clearly want him in. They brought that one bombshell in for him. I forgot her name. Was it Nicole? I'm pretty sure they tried to bring in Nicole for him. And obviously, the producers want him to stay because he's siblings with a famous football player, and that brings more attention to the show. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see it. I think Cordell would do really cool with like a nerdy cool girl. I just don't see him with these like blonde bombshells. I don't. I do feel bad. Um, what else is going on in this show? So during the one of the games, Kaylor makes out with Aaron, and Aaron takes it pretty personally. He's like, "Why would you make out with Hakeem?" Like, I don't know. It was very random, her making out with Hakeem, and she tried to say, "Oh, I just picked the first name I saw." I'm like, "Girl, I don't know what that was all about." I don't think we've even ever seen Kaylor and Hakeem have a conversation, let alone the two of them kissing. So I thought it was very random as well. But yeah, they make out. Aaron is understandably, he says trust is broken. I don't know. What do y'all think? If you actually like, what do y'all think? If the couple's not locked in yet, do you think something like this is wrong? I think the fact is that none of these couples were officially locked in. And so while it hurts, I don't necessarily think that kissing in the game is a reason to break trust of a couple. But I do think that I like the point that I've seen that a lot of these pairs need to determine what it is. And we see it in some pairs, like Serena and Cordell. Serena makes it very clear I'm single. Yes, we're paired up. We can sleep next to each other. I'm fine with all of that. But I'm single. He's single. We can explore. I feel like some of these other couples, the boundaries are very blurred. Like we look at Rob and Leah. We'll talk about them in a couple of minutes. I feel like for Leah, she's locked in. Rob is not. I feel like with Kaylor and Aaron, it seemed like Aaron was locked in, Kaylor was not. So I just feel like for me, Excuse me. I just feel like for me, when you're in a couple, you need to establish, in my opinion, what the boundaries are. Are you okay with your partner exploring? Or if you're in a pair, like if you choose to pair up, do you expect that that means you're basically locked in? Because I'm of two minds on it, and I can't say I'm 100% like, oh my god, how dare Taylor do that? Because if I'm being honest, I didn't really think it was a big deal. And it's like I think it's a little bit different with Hannah and Hakeem. Hannah and Kendall. Sorry, not Hakeem, Kendall. I think it's a little bit different with Hannah and Kendall because Hannah had made a promise to Kendall prior that she was going to lock down to him basically. She was not going to kiss anybody else. It was just the two of them. She had to basically beg for him back. But I just feel like with Kaylor and Aaron, it didn't seem like they ever made any form of agreement. So I just like for me, I don't have a solidified answer on whether I think it's right or wrong. I just more so think that it's something that they need to think about and establish before they do it. You know what I'm saying? Um, so for me, I don't know about that. They do eventually end up making up though, and Aaron says the trust is not how it used to be, but he's happy that they've made up. Supposedly they're locked down. Um Also in that same game, Leah calls Rob shady for like there was a question about who's the most shady or something, and Leah picks Rob, which I think is funny. Um, but yeah, we kind of end off with bombshells coming in. That's kind of the newest thing that has happened. We have two new bombshells. It is Andrea and Nicole. So off the bat, Andrea and Aaron actually hit it off really well because Andrea is she's Colombian, but she's from Florida, but she's Colombian, she speaks Spanish, and apparently we find out that Aaron's first language is Spanish and he grew up in Spain. So they hit it off, especially Andrea. She's like really, really into the fact that Aaron speaks Spanish. So I guess already those two kind of pair off. Um, and then Cordell picks Nicole and Kendall. Those are the two that she likes. And Andrea likes Rob and Aaron. So before I talk about those dates, Connor and Janae, I ship them. Are we shipping people still? I know I'm not like baby. I'm 27. I ship them. Connor and Janae, the way that man looked at her in that red lingerie, baby, that man's in love. Connor and Janae, I stand them. I stand them. Connor, I swear Connor breaks her heart. Or the other way. If Janae's head turns, I'm gonna be very upset because I like those two. And I want them to win. I want them to win. Okay, the dates. So Cordell and Nicole have a date. Um, and Cordell is so cute. It's so clear that he's nervous. I was um I was watching this joint with my husband and I was like, his foot's shaking. Like that man is so nervous. um so yeah, they have a date, but after the date, Nicole does say that the kiss was nice. I don't know. It feels very producer driven. It's really giving when the producers wanted to keep Bergie in. Y'all remember when they brought that bigger white girl, that big blonde white girl for Bergie last season, and she didn't even like it. I was like, oh nah, that was horrible for the record. That was awful. Um, it's really giving we want this man in. Because I'm gonna be honest, I feel like Nicole seemed like she was way more into Raw. Like, I just feel like the spark was there. Looking at Nicole and Rob's date, Nicole was a lot more giggly. She was a lot more energetic. She was a lot more talkative. I just got vibes that she was feeling Rob more than she was feeling Cordell. Personally, personally, I kind of feel it with Cordell, especially because there was one point in the date where she said, "Oh, are you gonna like kiss me?" Like I couldn't even tell if you were feeling me, and I was like, I don't know. Something about Cordell, like it's giving. I don't know. Cordell is giving. I've never been with a woman before. I don't. Does anybody remember what Cordell said in the body count game or how many women he's been with? Because I don't know. Cordell is really giving like I've never been in a relationship. It's just very weird to me. Mm. Um, so Andrea goes on dates with Kendall and Aaron. I still think that she felt Aaron the most. I just really think something about the fact that they share a language and things like that. I just think for her that's very important, and I think would it would be obviously important that like he can talk with her family and they can all talk in their native language. And I'm sure that's something that like for some people is very important. So I do get it. So I think just off that alone, there's a connection. I am interested to see where that will go, personally. So, um, Andrea and Connor, she ends up pulling Connor for a conversation next day, and Janae is jealous. Janae's in the back, like twerking, doing stretches, and Connor can't keep his eyes off her. Swear to, I swear to God. If something happens to Janae and Connor, I'm going to be heartbroken because I love this relationship. I love seeing a dark skinned black girl, and Connor's cute. When Connor came in, I was like, Connor's cute. Okay, he looked good. So I was like, if these two don't make it, I'm gonna be very upset. I'm gonna be very sad. Okay. Um, yeah. So I think that's it. Rob and Andrea have a date and they make out. And then Rob Rob and Andrea have a date, they make out. And then yeah, Leah's gonna find out soon. Do y'all think Rob was playing the game being with Leah? Something is starting to give me the tease. He was pulling the Joey Essex on Leah. Because I'm like, I don't know. This man seemed very quick to want Andrea. But here's what I think is gonna happen. And I'm missing an episode, I think. Y'all can spoil it. I don't really care anymore because I'll probably see it soon. But I think Rob is gonna want Andrea, but I think that Andrea is gonna want um Aaron more. So I think it's gonna be a little fight. And I'm assuming it's gonna be girl's choice. And I'm assuming Andrea's gonna pick Aaron, which is gonna leave Kaylor vulnerable. And I feel like Kaylor doesn't really have that much of a connection with anyone other than like her kissing Hakeem randomly. So I don't know there what's gonna happen. But that's kind of my prediction. US is giving this season. And I know I forgot stuff, y'all. I tried to just put all my thoughts in one video, but the regular recaps, the individual, nice and detailed recaps will be back tomorrow. I promise. I promise y'all they will be back tomorrow. I'm going to be doing today's episode and then tomorrow's episode, and I'm just going to do it in one video. And then moving forward from there, we should be back to daily. But y'all, what do you think of these seasons? Let me know what you think of US and UK. This is just my unfiltered thoughts. This is not going to be edited. It's probably not going to have any clips in it. So if you haven't watched the show, I'm sorry. It's not going to have no pictures. I did do no, I didn't. Sorry, I'm lying. I didn't do that. But yeah, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about this season? Oh, God. US is giving. US is so good. I can't wait till Casa Amor because I feel like a few of these people are gonna have a meltdown. And I can't wait till Casa Amor for UK so people can start doing something because it's getting a little stale over there. But both of them have been giving. I've been thoroughly entertained with both shows. But I have been here talking for 45 minutes. So if you love this content, yes, I've been gone for a little while. Like I said, got married, went to Honduras, like did all of it. I'm back now. I am going to New York in a week, but I'm probably gonna do like a joint recap with like my sister. We'll see if she wants to. If you love this content, please like, please share, please comment, please subscribe. It inspires me to keep creating. Coming up on the channel, I will probably be doing a video just like this about Perfect Match. I think I'm just going to talk about the season as a whole. I feel like there's not a lot of individual content that I have for that show. I did watch it, I did take notes, but I feel like half the episodes nothing happened. So I will be doing a video like this for Perfect Match. Expect individual recaps for Love Island for both seasons coming up. And The Mole is coming back. And I loved The Mole. So I'm probably going to recap that, but it's probably going to be more of a chatty style recap like this. But thank you so much for supporting my channel. Thank you for those of you guys who stuck around. Okay, I thought I was going to lose like all my subscribers, and most of y'all are still here. So thank you so much for understanding. Thank you for anyone that said a congratulations, a well wish. Are you good? Because I actually did get a couple of people ask me on Instagram if I was good. Yeah, I was good. I was just out the country and stuff. But I am back. I am excited. Also, if you're interested in like travel content, hauls, things like that, I'm trying to revamp my TikTok. I deleted like everything and I'm trying to revamp my TikTok. So I'll put my TikTok in the description box if you'd like to follow me there. It's also linked on my YouTube channel page. Um, that's all. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting me. I am excited to keep going with this season of Love Island. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe because it inspires me to keep creating. Thanks, guys. Talk to you in the next one. Bye.